Howdy heckin' hey, it's Andy May, and I'm so very glad to have you here. Hi there, BookTube. So I am so excited to be filming my first video for you guys, and today I was kind of thinking of things that I wanted to do, and I really wanted to do a video where you guys got to know me a little bit better. So I was thinking of things like the BookTube newbie tag and things like that, but I felt that one in particular was a bit too BookTube centered. So I decided to do the Meet the Booktuber tag, originally by Grace-Filled Reads. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the first question of the tag is, how did you decide what genre of books you like to read? And I guess this was mostly trial and error because as a kid, I pretty much just picked up whatever intrigued me. And that's still the same today. Nothing's changed. I definitely tend to stick to thriller, horror novels. I also love some sci-fi, but I have the capacity to like anything, and I'm never going to discount a book by its genre. So definitely a lot of trial and error. But yeah, I read a lot of things, but definitely have a bit of a focus in thriller and horror. The second question of the tag is, what author is most like you? And when I was thinking of answers to this, I was like, I don't know what these authors are like. I don't know. And then I was like, Donna Tartt. Donna Tartt. The woman takes 10 years to write a book, and it's a banger. Now listen, I'm not saying the things I do are bangers, but what I am saying is that it can take me 10 years to do something. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that. So yeah, we'll go with Donna Tartt. The third question is, if you were stranded on an island or a farm, it says that, what book would you take with you? And I would have to pick Alive by Scott Sigler. This is a part of the Generations trilogy. It's the first book in the trilogy. And this is one of the only books that I've ever reread. Well, this and the rest of the trilogy. I'm not a rereader. I don't enjoy rereading books. If I already know the story, I don't see the point. This book, yeah, I love this. I actually reread it fairly recently, and it still totally holds up. I love it so much. So based on that, I should probably tell you what it's about. I'm not doing great at my booktuber duties. But essentially it's these kids, and they wake up in coffins, and they have to figure out what the heck's going on. And yeah, this is probably one of the only books I can see myself rereading anyways. So I'm bringing this if I'm stuck on a farm for some reason. The fourth question is, do you like buying books to read them or because they look beautiful on your shelves? And you can probably tell from my shelves, I don't care what my books look like. I really don't. As long as they are readable, that's genuinely all that matters to me. I don't care how beat up they are. I don't care if they have a cracked spine. It doesn't matter. I am much more somebody who buys a used book with the intention of reading it, not just to make my shelves look beautiful. That's not my style. The fifth question is, what book could you have read 10 years ago that would have changed your life? And I actually love this question. It took me a little bit to kind of think of my answer to this, because I don't think I read too many profound books, if you will. But the one that I really settled on was Reaching for the Moon by Katherine Johnson, because as for work, I am an analytical chemist. I really enjoy it. I love the work that I'm able to do. But I also have such a passion for space. And I think if I had read this when I was, 14, 10 years ago, I might have made a different career path decision. Not that I regret it, but I just love space, and I think it would have been incredible to work in that field. And I think this might have given me the courage back then to pursue that and to do that. So also incredible book, highly recommend, but I think I'd have to pick this. Question 6 is, if there were only 3 books in the entire world, what would they be? So I'm going with 3 genres. There's no way I could choose 3 books. And this is kind of going back to question 1, but I would have to say thriller and horror and no, I can't. No. Wait, no. I can't say that. You know what? I might say thriller, sci-fi, and fantasy, which if you know me, you know the fantasy sounds crazy, but I don't know that I could really live without my cozy fantasies, which I've really been loving recently. Oh, I just turned my entire world upside down. Yeah, okay. Thriller, sci-fi, and fantasy, but specifically cozy fantasy. I am a new person. Oh my goodness. Okay. Question 7 is, if you could write a book about anything, what would it be? And I don't think I have this skill. I can write, but I don't think I'd ever have the patience to write a full-length novel. But for this scenario, let's go ahead and say that I did. I think I'd have to lean dystopian. I think there's so much room for great ideas, but also great commentary about the world we currently live in. So I think I would have to lean in that direction, you know, things like The Giver or The Hunger Games. And we're gonna ignore this unsightly little sticker. Don't worry about that. I think it'd be a fun and really, I think it would really wiggle my brain box about. It would really take me some thought processes to come up with a great story. And I think that's where I'd lean. The 8th question is, what character do you feel is most like you? Now, I hate to do this because he doesn't deserve this, but I'm gonna do it. Bilbo Baggins. This man is a dweeb. This man, he just wants to eat. He just wants to sit by a fire. He just wants to drink tea and chill. That's all he wants. And then, of course, some people barge into his house and they're like, you're going on an adventure. And he's like, no, I'd really rather not. Me. He doesn't deserve the comparison to me, but he's getting it because I feel it. I vibe with Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo is my answer. Question 9 is, how do you plan out your booktube content? And I don't. I think going forward, honestly, I don't think there'd be a plan. I really want this to be a fun hobby that I can do when I have the time, when I have the energy. And so I don't want to make it too scheduled, too organized, too over. I just kind of want to do what comes to me. So I think the extent of my planning would be, I get an idea and I jot it down in my notes section. I think that's about all it would be. And of course, to end on a high note, question 10 is, if you were dying, what book would you read to the world? And I mean, this is genuinely such a depressing note to end on, but with how the world currently is, I think 2 books, well, 3 books in particular, really come to mind. The first being The Handmaid's Tale, the second being 1984, and the third being Fahrenheit 451. These books would all hopefully get people to understand that these things that were once, I guess, absurd ideas we're quite a bit closer to those things right now than we should be, than anyone should ever be. And so I think as my final act, I would read one of these books to, you know, the population of particularly the United States. But anyways, so glad that that's where we ended. Cool. So that was the Meet the Booktuber tag, and I genuinely had such a fun time filming this. This was so cool, and I really hope to film some more things. Yeah, if you like my vibe, if you like the vibe of what you can see at the library, if you like that kind of aesthetic, feel free to subscribe if you want to, whatever you like. And yeah, I hope to bring some more videos to you guys soon. All right, toodles.